Just checking people if everyone is here. Okay, we have one person. I'm just gonna do a audio check. Okay, audio works fine. ठीक है. Hi Nehan. Uh, you're here early. Okay, people. So yesterday was Men's Day apparently. Well, happy belated Men's Day for people. If you didn't get wished by anyone, so happy belated Men's Day. We had to postpone our Estudely. It's FNL. It's Friday Night Live. We couldn't go live on Friday because I was actually not at my own place, and so we postponed it to Saturday. So technically, it is SNL today, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, happy Men's Day. Yeah, you too. One day later, but it's fine. It's somewhere. I don't know. So okay, I was at my cousin's place. My cousin was getting married. Not married, engaged, and that's it. Anyway, so that's why I couldn't be live. Also, for obvious reasons, there's an update for you guys. So okay, let's just get into the yeah. Let's not okay. Let's just move to the tech news first. Okay, Neha, we'll get into the discussions and stuff. But yeah, okay, cool. I hope you all can see my screen, and we'll just go with the first story. And the first one is quite fun. So okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. And okay, perfect. So, anyways, as I was saying, the first story is China says foreign spy agency hacked its airlines and stole passenger records. Now, so basically, China is kind of complaining this happened in 2020. So, this is technically a late reporting. But yeah, apparently, they had a security breach, and they are China is basically saying that, well, hackers stole all the passenger records and all that stuff. So, which would possibly just include, passport numbers, full names, dates, their visa information, all that stuff. So, that's just one of the data breaches. Data breaches are apparently very common nowadays. Anyway, moving to the next story. Robinhood discloses a data breach impacting 7 million customers. Now, we kind of already knew this, but apparently, Robinhood is the application which was recently used for sharing the shares. Like, if you guys know about it, there was this GameStop share thing. It was like a pretty big story, apparently. And Robinhood is like the application which was used to buy those shares, right? So it was kind of in the news. One example would be Coinbase or WazirX or Zerodha or something in India. So that's what Robinhood is, kind of, right? So apparently they had a data breach and it impacted 7 million customers. So their information, like their first names, last name, email, and all that stuff was that was impacted. So yeah, that's the data breach. Moving on to the next one. Apparently, Robinhood hackers accused they accessed an internal tool for removing account security features. So that's what the screenshots are. Apparently they used an internal tool that is used by Robinhood, and they used that against these people. And apparently that's how they got information. So yeah, they just basically removed the security. So it's not like they hacked something. It's more of like they just removed the passwords and they just got that information. That's basically it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Costco discloses that they had a data breach after finding a credit card skimmer. Now, if you don't know what a credit card skimmer is, it's basically, do you guys know that when you go to an ATM machine, you use your card there, right? So basically, let me just bring on full screen. So when you go to an ATM machine, you swipe your card, or when you go for a payment, you swipe your card, right? So when basically instead of swiping a card, there is a different machine on it. Like when you swipe your card on that, it technically steals your credit card information, and that's what Costco realized, that hey, there was a credit card skimmer right there, and that's what led to information about credit card. Now with India, credit cards, like if you use a credit card or debit card for online shopping, you mostly get an OTP to verify it. Turns out, sadly, internationally, that didn't happen. On the international level, usually in US and Canada, what happens is you swipe your debit card, instantly your money is like just gone. They don't ask you for an OTP, and I mean it's more of a convenience thing. But yeah, still. So yeah, apparently, people from US or Canada, if you guys are watching, and if you have been to a Costco store recently, just be mindful, your credit card might be out there. Okay, moving on to the next story. Void Balhur hackers for hire sell stolen mailboxes and private data. Now, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but apparently they're hackers for hire, right? Hackers for hire. What does that mean? It's basically you hire a hacker to do something, to do whatever. So I can technically hire a hacker to, let's say, hack my friend's account or something, right? So they apparently are selling stolen mailboxes and private data. Now, private data could be anything. You can once again check the entire thing. But mail services like Gmail, Proton Mail, Mail.ru, Yandex, VK, and even Telegram and all that stuff. So they are selling those accounts. Like an account can go as high as 550 US dollars, which is kind of a lot. But given that a Gmail account might have information about, let's say, their bank details or something, so I believe that's like fair enough. Also, Telegram accounts, they are going for what, $2,000. Imagine someone got your Telegram account for $2,000. Like they could impersonate you, they could get a lot of information about you from that. But yeah, also private data like passport and flight information, traffic camera snapshots. Traffic camera snapshots, guys, just imagine, like you see traffic cameras, like at an intersection in India, right? Imagine all that data is getting stolen or breached somewhere. So yeah, traffic police data, which means fines. Let's say you got a fine, your car registration details, if you have a weapon, if you have a licensed handgun, that details, criminal records, credit history, bank account balance and statements, and tax service records. All this information is available. These guys are apparently selling it. So yeah. Okay, so that's it for data breaches. Moving on to companies. So apparently, Google wins appeal against UK class action style suit seeking damages for Safari tracking. Now, Safari is a browser. Okay, Safari is a web browser used by Apple, right? So it's available on Mac OS, and it's available on, well, iPhone as well. And apparently there was this issue that Google was tracking a lot of information in that browser, but apparently Google won the entire appeal. You can just go through this. I just said Google and my assistant got activated for some reason, but yeah, that's basically it. You can once again read this entire thing. They avoided £3 billion in damages, so that's a good thing for Google, I guess. Okay. Judge orders Apple to allow external payment options for App Store by December 9th, denying stay. Now, we here at Estudely, we have already discussed about this, right? So we are discussing about how Apple is not allowing different third-party payment systems inside their application. So like if you install their application, then you have to go through the Apple payment store to get whatever you're buying on that specific application. So they probably have a 15 or 30% fee cut. So for example, let's say you have PUBG Mobile or BGMI or Call of Duty on an iPhone. Let's say you want to buy in-game currency for, let's say, Call of Duty. So when you try to pay that, a cut of that money goes to Apple, as opposed to if you were able to directly buy it, it would be probably be cheaper. Same goes for Spotify. Let's say you install Spotify on your iPhone. You want to buy the subscription. If you directly try to buy the subscription on Spotify, it will charge you 15% more of what the normal rate is. But if you buy a Spotify account from the website and then just log in, it will not cost you anything. You'll probably save money. That's what is happening on Apple at the moment, right? And there is this entire lawsuit, Epic versus Apple. Epic, for those who don't know, those are the owners of Fortnite and all those games. Fortnite, Rocket League, they are just a gaming studio, right? So yeah, that's basically the entire lawsuit is happening. And now judge has decided to tell Apple that they need to allow a third party payment system, which is like the least they can do. It's not that difficult to just add one button. They don't even have to do it, they just have to change the rules. But Apple, being Apple, is a very closed system, and so yeah, that's what's causing the issue. But yeah, anyways, that's the Apple versus Epic lawsuit, if you didn't know. Uh, Give me a second. Okay, moving on to the next one. Microsoft will now snitch on you at work like never before. Okay, there was this in the Zoom. Let's say you are in an online class, right? I'm just gonna give a very quick example. And you are in your online class, like let's say I'm in an online class. You're not paying attention to the Zoom meeting. You're not paying attention to the Zoom window. You are probably watching some other video. You are on your phone. What if, like, if you're not paying attention, that message goes to your madam or your sir that, hey, this person Aman is not paying attention, he has some other thing open in the background. And I've seen a lot of kids do that. They open up Zoom on the laptop and they start doing something else. Now imagine if your Zoom said this to the your meeting host, that, hey, listen, that person is not paying attention. So imagine how bad it would be. Turns out that's what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft Meet from now on, even in company meetings. So people who are like corporate here, yeah, you would want to keep the Zoom window or Microsoft Meet window open. Otherwise, the meeting host is probably going to know that you're not paying attention or you're just playing games. But yeah, that's what basically it is. uh, yeah, very intrusive feature, not at all helpful to people. I believe it kind of violates the privacy. uh, but yeah, that's basically it. uh, More in company news, the sneaky way TikTok is connecting you to your real life friends. Now, well, a lot of social media does this already. It's like you upload your contacts list, right? Most of you don't even know it. You just click allow, allow. Just it's fine. Just let me use the application. Take all the permissions you want, and you do that. You even give the permission for your contacts, and you know what that happens. Even on Snapchat, you give the permission for your contacts. That's it. Now your contacts are with Snapchat. That means they can connect you to your real life identities, right? So let's say you are using Instagram, you give your contact information to Instagram, right? And now that's bad, because now Instagram, even if you make a fake account, Instagram knows who you are because it can just connect you. It can just make a web, right? Okay, these three people have this person in common, so that means this person is you. uh, that's what exactly TikTok is doing. So if you have your phone number and if you're allowing for permissions, TikTok is gonna connect you to your real life people. Bad for anonymity. This doesn't technically apply to Indian people, because we don't have TikTok, but it still applies because we have other applications like ShareChat and Instagram and stuff. So be very mindful of the permissions you give. That's what I would say. Huh. Okay. The dawn of topography. Does your smartphone know how you feel before you do? Now, this is a subject that we have taken up on Easterly in the last live, I believe. So there was this research about how your smartphone knows, or how a particular AI knows even before you are depressed that you are going to be depressed. And I think the technology has come like very far for that. But yeah, like it's just crazy that your smartphone knows what you're gonna feel even before you actually feel it. Yeah, it is scary. I agree. It is very, very, very scary. Like imagine you're gonna feel sad, but before you feel sad, there's a notification in your phone which says, "Hey, you're gonna feel sad." Like that's right out of a Black Mirror episode. So yeah, imagine you're gonna be like surprised or something, and it's like, hey, you're gonna be very surprised in the next few minutes, or you're gonna have an anxiety attack. Now, I mean, it's good technology. Like imagine the amount of seizures and like heart attacks and anxiety attacks that we could prevent. That hey, please take care. You might be having an heart attack. That is what's already happening. Like if you have an Apple Watch, it can already tell you that you're going to have a heart attack even before you do, and it will just call the medical services in advance. Really good for saving life, but when it comes to moods, I think that's kind of really scary. Let's just go through the article once. Uh, so obviously if you didn't know, your phone does, like, you technically use a lot of people use the step counter, or they have a smart band, right? uh, I mean, yeah, that's fair. It will accelerate the anxiety attack. Kab hoga? Okay, yeah, that's fair. But if you think about it, uh, if you have a smartwatch, and a lot of you guys, I know a lot of you have a smartwatch, that is already tracking your heart rate, that is already tracking your steps, right? And even if you don't, even if your smartphone is in your pocket, it can detect movement. Like even when you move, your phone, that company, whatever, let's say you have a Redmi smartwatch, that company knows that, hey, Aman is moving from this place to this place. Like they even know how many steps you are moving. I think that is crazy, and that's the only reason I don't have a fitness tracker, because like that's just scary. Okay, I'm moving inside my house and the company knows that, hey, Aman is moving from here to there. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. Even there's features like sleep tracking and stuff, like they track your sleep. Like how well are you sleeping, did you have a bad dream while you are sleeping, they have that information. And I don't know if you guys like realize how scary it is, but even you yourself don't know if you had a bad dream sometimes. So yeah, if you have a fitness band or something, have fun being scared. Moving on to the next one. This is about research. So researchers show that the Apple's CSAM scanning can be fooled easily. What is CSAM? Let's get to the basics of that. Before a few months, Apple announced a very controversial feature, which is known as CSAM. Okay, what it basically does is it constantly checks your iPhone, your iCloud photos for child abuse material. Okay, now it could be anything from a child being abused, a video, to anything like, let's say, child pornography or something, right? So Apple will constantly check for that. Now how do they check for that? Like how does that even work? So what the technology basically is known as CSAM. What they basically do is they take a hash out for that specific media content, and they compare it to a database that they already have. That's how CSAM works. Now a lot of privacy, it's a compulsory feature. It's just something that happens on your iPhone. And a lot of privacy people were like concerned that, hey, you are checking for child abuse material at this point. Yes, that's fine, that's really good, but imagine you could just check for something else as well. Let's say you can now check for memes about a political party, or you can check for leftist or rightist extremist views or something. And this technology can be literally made into something entirely else. It can be used to profile people. Imagine Google deciding suddenly that, hey, if you have a lot of cat photos, you're not going to get a discount. Like imagine that kind of discrimination. That sounds very far fetched, but that's what exactly it is. It's just machine learning algorithms figuring out what type of content you have, and then judging you based on the content. Now, in respect, like, in terms of child abuse, I think it's an excellent move. but this is how companies, this is how governments enroll you know programs which do not respect your privacy. Indian government recently did that, and it still does that. Even if it's for cryptocurrency or anything, what they're gonna say is, "Hey, people are using cryptocurrency to fund terrorist organization." And then let's ban cryptocurrency for that. I recently, I'm not kidding, before a few months, there was the news that someone from the Indian government wanted to ban VPNs because VPNs are used to commit crimes. Now, for those who don't know, VPNs are not just for changing IP address. VPN is a core fundamental of how we access documents in the office. Like, let's say you are working from home, you need the VPN, and that's how it works. But yeah, that's what happens. People use terrorism or child abuse or something to justify what the policies they want to make. But yeah, that's my personal take on it. Yeah, you're saying Nokia 3300. Huh. Okay, so the new Nokia phones with the 5G and all that stuff, I wouldn't advise to even get those because they send a lot of data back. You can't even control the data that your Nokia sends back, so that's really bad. At least in your smartphone, at least in this smartphone, I have the control about key if audio is going or not, what IP addresses my phone is contacting or not. You cannot do that on a small Nokia phone. So I yeah, a lot of people say this, that hey, that that basic phone, that basic dabbawala phone, that's not gonna be very helpful, apparently. So yeah, even if you get a phone which does not have internet, like of like the most basic of phones, it still has SMS. And a lot of companies send SMS back to the main server in the background, SMS about your GPS coordinates and your SIM location. So yes, you can still be tracked even if you don't have internet, even if you don't have GPS, you can still be tracked. So yeah, if you don't want to get tracked, just ditch your phone, just ditch all the uh, you know electronics you have around you. But yeah, which is not exactly a viable option given we are in, like, the 21st century. But yeah, whatever, moving on to the next story. Yeah, you can use letters, but remember, letters are not encrypted. The letter that you send to your friend can be read by anyone, can be opened by the postman, can be opened by someone else. Not exactly secure. Who is tracking? No, oh, Jainik, okay. You know what? Before we get to the next story, who is tracking the normal person anyway? Now that's fair. That's fair to ask that. Hey, who's gonna track me? I'm not, like, I'm not of the interest to, let's say, a government or some organization. But it's not about a government specifically targeting you. It's about the advertisement. It's about the advertisers and the big companies tracking you and profiling you and serving you ads based on that. You'll be saying, that's good, right? I'm getting ads which are more relevant to me, which can help me buy stuff. Yes, but it can also, as we discussed before, it can also be used against you. Let's say they find out about a medical condition of yours. Okay, we just discussed that sometimes they can predict. We can predict what, like, the devices can predict what's going to happen to you even before you do, right? Now let's just imagine your insurance company knows that in future you might have, let's say, a very critical illness, and that's why your insurance is going way up. What happens then? Let's say you are talking to your friend that, hey, I'm gonna go to Dubai, and the next day, because you are getting tracked, because you search for Dubai hotels and you know about the Burj Khalifa and stuff, now the price to go to Dubai on Indiegogo or Google Flights or all that stuff, or let's say Redbus, all those websites, now the price is very high. Why? Because you search for it, and now they are taking advantage of you. Let's say you wanted to go on a Saturday, the prices for Saturday are really high. So not, I'm not saying that an individual government is gonna take interest in you, but your data is still going there. uh, and like, if you still do not believe me that, Aman, there's no way people are collecting that much information. Like, there's no way that the government knows that much. Even if I have a basic phone, I would just suggest go on Netflix, and check the movie Snowden. I was actually watching that movie today while I was in the bus. But yeah, uh, yeah, this can help reduce crimes statistically, not significantly. It's not gonna matter. It's once again, see, that's what companies and governments do. Like, hey, you know what, we're going to use this technology to prevent crimes and stuff. But yeah, no, it's that's not how it works. Just like, there's this quote by Edward Snowden. It's like, the quote is that a lot of people come up to me and say this, and it's completely fine that some people think that, hey, I have nothing to hide. Okay, can someone in the chat let me know that they have the same thought? Okay, them, I don't have anything to hide, so it's completely fine. Like, I have nothing to hide, so I am completely fine with companies knowing about me. Like, if you have that attitude towards privacy, I feel really sad for you, because the issue is, just because you don't have something to say, that doesn't mean your right to speech should be taken away, right? Just because you don't have something to hide doesn't mean your right to privacy should be taken away, right? So the same way, like, yeah, you said crime for insurance and all that stuff. Yes, but what about the normal person? Yeah, you sure go ahead and track that scammer who's like scamming the insurance companies and all that stuff. Go ahead and do that. Fine. What about the normal people who deserve a normal healthcare? In India, we are fortunate enough to have a normal healthcare. In US, calling an ambulance costs $4,000. People actually take taxis. Like, if you go on news, and if you just go online and search for the news, people who have been stabbed or shot, you just got mugged, you got just shot in, let's say, in your arm, people would rather take a taxi than call an ambulance, because ambulance costs like $4,000 and taxi would just cost like 23 or $24. Imagine, imagine the like type of society you are living in, right? So yeah, we got into politics kind of, but it's, maybe the algorithms can be used to solve crime, but if there are not regulations enough for these companies, they're going to get out of hand. Government should put regulations, yes, but not on people, on the company. The company which is doing this to people, they should put regulations on the companies. They are a monopoly at this point. Google is a monopoly, Apple is a monopoly. They have $2 trillion, which is higher than the GDP of entire countries. So yeah, they should put regulations on the companies, because some companies are more powerful than a lot of countries combined. And if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Like, look at Amazon. It's literally doing whatever it wants with the space. In future, you won't be able to. Tesla, Tesla, the founder of Tesla, Elon Musk, they have this Starlink satellite system, right? And the Starlink satellite system is so bad at this point that, yes, you get free internet, sure, but if you want to look at the night sky, the satellites are going to take up the sky cover. Imagine that you can't look at stars anymore properly. You can't make a long exposure shot, because the Starlink satellites are just going over the head. Yes, that's good for more internet connectivity, but it's a double-edged sword. A lot of astronomers are having problems. Even amateur photographers. I don't think Takshil is here, but like, if Takshil was here right now on the live, he would agree. Like, imagine you just go and want to take a photo of the moon, but there's a random satellite interfering with your photo. But yeah, there should be an earning limit, and access shall be used for lower. I mean, I completely agree. Yeah, that's a fair point. There should be a limit. I read this post on Reddit about, like, once you reach 1 billion, all the money should go to, like, countries to help all that stuff. That's fair, but no one's gonna give up their own money. It's just the world that we live in. Moving on, let's get back to tech. So basically, we were talking about Apple's CSAM scanning. It can be fooled easily, and obviously, when there's tech, it's not 100% perfect, right? Because it's made by humans. And yeah, that's it. Okay, healthcare security. IT pros warn of vulnerable HVAC systems, imaging systems, and check-in kiosks and more. So, in an hospital, let's say you go to an hospital, there are a lot of electronics. Okay, starting with the lights, CCTV cameras. You're like, huh, it's fine. It's just lights and CCTV cameras. Even if they get hacked, it's not life or death. It is life or death. The power systems, the the kiosk, meaning when you go inside, let's say inside a gate, they have this digital ID scanner thing. So you scan your ID and then you get permission. Let's say someone hacked that system, someone who's not a doctor got access to a lab that they are not supposed to, right? Imagining imaging systems, MRI machines, CAT scans, X-ray machines, all that, they are connected with the internet. I asked a question today in Easterly, what operating systems you are using, right? And I got responses like Windows 11, Windows 10. Some said Windows 7, which I'm really concerned for whoever said Windows 7. Please upgrade to Windows 10. Please just move away from Windows, go to Linux. The systems that a lot of the systems that a lot of MRI machines and imaging machines are using at this point, even right now in 2021, it's older than Windows XP. A lot of you in the audience were not even born when Windows XP was made. Okay, a lot of you were not even born. And you are younger than the Windows XP, and a lot of systems use Windows XP. Do you guys have any idea how easy it is to hack a Windows XP or older system? That the amount of bugs they have. Imagine you go for an X-ray, and instead of I don't know if you guys have seen no, DOS is technically the protocol on which Windows is built. But yes, something like a Windows 98, that's what I'm referring to. Older than XP would be Windows 98 and stuff, even 2001 Enterprise Edition. But imagine you go for an X-ray. Now, I'm assuming most of you have heard about Chernobyl. Imagine you go for an X-ray, and instead of getting a normal, let's say one dose, like let's say 30 rotogen of dose, you get 3,000. What happens then? You're gonna die of radiation poisoning, right? What about the safeguard? Someone can just hack into an X-ray machine, and you might be like, how is that even possible? Guys, once you get on the Wi-Fi, like those systems are connected to the Wi-Fi, it's very easy to hack. Once you get physical access, let's say you are inside the X-ray room, let's say the X-ray technician is not inside the room, and the machine is just unattended, there's no passwords. Even if there is a password, that's super easily hackable. Imagine that you go for an X-ray and you come out with superpowers like Hulk. You go for an X-ray for a broken bone, and now you're basically Hulk with gamma radiation. So yeah, that's it's a very serious thing. You guys should take security more seriously, even your Wi-Fi passwords. For people who have a Wi-Fi router or router at home, please change your passwords, because your, like, if you have a smartphone, a smart home, that's a smart lights, like I have smart lights. If you got on my Wi-Fi connection, you can definitely turn on and off my smart lights. You can definitely turn on and off my Bluetooth speaker, my TV, and all that stuff. You can even control in some countries. uh, yeah, I mean, I check for security vulnerability everywhere. But in India, we don't have a thermostat mostly, right? But in different countries, in US and Canada, or the North Asian countries, they have a thermostat at home. You know what it does is it controls temperature. That's connected to the internet. Once you hack into that, you can change the temperature of someone's house. And you might be like, oh, it's just gonna be a cold or hot temperature, right? It's just not a big deal, it's just an inconvenience. Wrong. You found out someone who is very prone to heat waves and stuff. And if you make a drastic change in the temperature, let's say you go from -10 in temperature to like 40, that that much of a change is very bad for a human body, and you can give someone a heart attack just to take. And this was an I believe this was an episode of Elementary. It's like a show about Sherlock Holmes, but there was an actual show, and there has an actual news. This has happened in real life before. But Someone hacked. You know what a pacemaker is? A pacemaker is a device which is used to control your heart's rhythm. You can hack a pacemaker. You can give someone an electric shock. Imagine that. You can give someone an electric shock wirelessly, and you can stop someone's heart. So yeah, that stuff. Security is super important. Probably a better Wi-Fi password, but yeah. So yeah, that's what this article is about. But yeah, this problem is in India as well. The next time you go for an X-ray, please be very mindful. Okay, EU pharmaceutical giants run on old vulnerable apps and fail to use encryption in login forms. Now, this is exactly what I just talked about, but this is pharmaceutical, like, it's some medicals and stuff. Once again, I'm going to take a very weird example that you might be like, that's not going to happen ever, but it might. Let's say you go for one paracetamol and now they give you a dose of, like, I don't know, one something completely else. Like they give you 100 paracetamols or something. So that's a stupid example, but I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. It's not secure. The web servers around us, they are not as secure as you might think. But yeah, that's basically just the news. I'm going to move on to the next few articles that we have. So Missouri apologizes for 600K teachers who had SSNs and private info exposed. So in our last view, in our last e-study live, we had discussed that there was an application used by teachers and students, like a timetable applications which had all the syllabus and schedules and all that stuff. It was hacked and all the information was lost. It was the information like phone records, gender, their sexual, their sexuality, their phone numbers, their age, their full name, their email addresses, their passwords. All that information was leaked, and now the company is basically just owning up to the data breach. And a lot of the times, the company, what they do is they're like, hey, there's no data breach, chill out guys, there's no data breach. You probably lost your password, there's no data breach, but then they eventually own up to it. So obviously regularly keep on checking your password, regularly keep on changing your passwords from everywhere. Once again, you can just go to the website named haveibeenpwned.com and just put your email address and check if you actually are in a database, hacked database or something. But yeah, that's just basically it. Moving on to the last three stories. Clearview officially kicked out of Australia for violation of country's privacy laws. Now, this is just an update to a story which we discussed in the last live. Clearview is basically an AI company. They are kicked out of Australia because they are violating country's privacy law. As I said, Australia itself is not a private country. They have very privacy intrusive laws, and it's like the it's once again it's a very hypocritical move, but yeah, whatever. Australia does Australia. Moving on to the last three stories. So, the capital of South Korea will be the first city government to join the metaverse. Now, there's a lot of news about the metaverse. Facebook has come up with this metaverse. It's like, Ready Player One type world, all that stuff. But yeah, that's just basically it. Yeah, so it will be the South Korea capital city, Seoul, will be the first city to join the metaverse. That's basically it in the news. Israel escalates surveillance of Palestinians with facial recognition program in the West Bank. So if you don't know, I don't know if you have been living under a rock, but there's an entire war going on between Israelis and Palestinians, and now they are using facial recognition technology to figure out who is where, all that stuff. Once again, it's really sad that countries are resorting to these types of privacy, violating methods. But yeah, also the Pegasus, it's the same way that happened with Pegasus, right? They just are using privacy violating applications and technology. They are using the tech for bad purposes, and this is what happens. uh, yeah, it sucks, but last story of the week. Gmail accounts are used in 91% of all baiting email scans, email attacks. So the attacker just makes up a new Gmail address. They send you an email saying that, hey, you won 1,000 rupees or something, or you won a free trip to something, or hey, check your password, are you sure something's not wrong with your password and stuff. And actually, you know what, I think I can technically show my spam emails to you guys. Give me a second, I'll check. I'll show you the type of spam email that I get. uh Spam. Okay, it's okay, I think I can share. Okay, so guys, look, this is the type of spam email that I get. I hope you can see the screen. Yeah, we are sorry to invade your privacy. Your contract inheritance funds 10,500,000 US dollars. That's not even a real number. Has been approved in your name. Yours faithfully. Please reply United Nations. And it's just I get these type of scam emails. Like, look at this. Hello beneficiary. This is to bring your notice. Like, now, obviously, if you reply back to this email, they'll ask for your identity and stuff. Uh, like, look at this. Urgent, this is not your ID. Please change your password. Was this me? Was this not you? When you click on this link, they will take you to somewhere else, and they will ask you to put your ID password, and that's how you get hacked. But yeah, that's basically it. That's how scam emails work. Be very careful. Do not click on any random links. That's it. Okay, so that's basically it for all the tech news this week. Our communities, you can join our community if you want to be updated and you want, security and privacy guides. You can join our community on Discord or on Telegram. We have Easterly has this amazing Telegram channel. Yeah, I know I'm kind of self promoting, but we have this amazing Telegram channel where we talk about applications, Android apps, Android services, or website services, which are completely free and open source. So you can definitely check that out as well. We have a Telegram group as well where you can, if let's say you have doubts about coding or stuff, we have a lot of coders which will be more than happy to help you with any computer related or tech related problem you might have. Feel free to contact us. But yeah, that's it. All the links in the description below. You can check out my Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week.